What up, everybody? I'm Jay the Kid. Right over here, we got my boy LC from 773. We got our boy Visionary 23. And ladies and gentlemen, today we got a pretty special guest here. We have a professional wrestler who has been pretty much all over the world. He's wrestled in Japan, he's wrestled in a whole bunch of other wrestling promotions. So, without further ado, today, ladies and gentlemen, we have Mitch Ryder joining us today.
What's going on? Thanks for having me.
How you
Oh, the
doing today,
applause,
man?
the applause. How good. I'm awesome. I'm awesome, man. It's a pleasure to be with you guys. Yeah. Well, it's not late for you guys, right? It's like 5:30, right? It's not
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Yeah,
midnight
about
or
5:30.
anything. Yeah, good. Yeah, it's like 9 o'clock in the morning here. It's beautiful. It looks like it's about to rain, but I'm doing real good.
Okay, okay. So, I want to, start about, your wrestling career. Some of your accomplishments. You were PWL champion. You held that belt for at least 145 days, an APW champion, a
Yeah.
WPW interstate champion, a VPW champion, and an AWA tag team champion with your tag team partner at the time, Cedric Brave, as Next Gen.
Damn. Yeah, yeah. You done some
So,
research.
Oh
That's
yeah.
yeah,
deep. That's a
we
deep
do our
cut.
research on here and everything, man.
That's
So I just
awesome.
want to ask, with all of these accomplishments and everything like that, what would you say is the number one thing you're mostly proud of in your career so far?
I think for me, the biggest thing, I guess when I was a kid growing up, for me, obviously there wasn't really any, or not a huge amount of pro wrestling in Australia, and so the pro wrestling business to me has always been America. It's always been overseas and stuff like that. And so
Hmm.
I think for me, like the thing I'm probably most proud of is the fact that I've been able to do it overseas. Like I've been able to do it in places that I'd never even really knew if I would go to as a kid, let alone wrestle there.
Hmm.
So the amount of travel that I've been able to do, that's probably the thing that I'm most proud of. I've obviously worked for some really cool companies, but yeah, just to be able to like make that dream happen and wrestle in America, wrestle in Japan, those sorts of things. That's probably what it is above the other accomplishments like the titles and things like that.
Okay, okay. And before we
Yeah.
begin with, our other questions and everything, we got a little. All right.
Sweet.
So pretty much we what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a few questions for you. We're gonna do a little bit of a little game and everything with you, and then after that we're gonna
Awesome.
have a thing we call 20-minute time wait. So pretty much what we're gonna
Okay.
do here is we're gonna have a bunch of questions that we're gonna have for you. 20 minutes. Might not be fully wrestling questions. Some of them might just be able to see if we like you as a person. But
Awesome.
I think we'll be all right. So, without
Nice.
further ado, I'm gonna pass it off to Visionary, and Visionary gonna start with the first question.
Nice.
What's going on, Mike? Can you hear me?
Yo, gotcha.
Yep, we hear you.
Yo, how did you come up with your move set? You give me like that high flyer,
Yeah, yeah. So when I came up with the move set, originally I haven't always been a high flyer.
Hmm.
Originally I was probably about 30 pounds heavier than I am right now. When I first started wrestling. So I was a bigger
hmm
guy. I was never much I'm only about 5'10", so I was never really tall, but I was
hmm
pretty solid. And so I had a lot of power moves when I first started.
Yeah.
But to be fair, like that was never what I really enjoyed watching when I was a kid. Like, of course, I loved watching, bigger guys and that sort of stuff. But I always loved the high flying, and I always loved that sort of stuff. And in 2020, when COVID happened and everything kind of shut down, all of the schools shut down around where I live. And so I actually bought a ring, and I basically just started training by myself. And when you're by yourself, you kind of have to do all the cool stuff like jump, springboards and flips and things like that. And I really just taught myself how to do all that sort of stuff, and realized that I could incorporate it into my moveset. And that's pretty much how it happened. Like I basically found that sort of stuff, and I tried to be inventive and creative like that. So it sort of happened by accident almost, just because I had no one else to train with.
Definitely.
That's nice, man. I like it.
That's dope. That's dope. And then we're gonna pass it off to LC, and LC gonna get started with his question.
Definitely. Once again, thanks for being on. It's definitely a pleasure. All right. One question I always try to go through is we all have a starting point with inspiration. And give or take, who would you consider to be on your Mount Rushmore, like your top four when it comes to, who can you put up there? I know it's like a minimal spot, but I definitely always consider honorable mentions. It's always hard to pick just four, but, give or take out of those main four guys, gals, anybody pretty much that you have taken some inspiration from, even if it's not just pro wrestling, but, what makes the mindset before getting into character for being that person? Like, who would you consider up there for you?
Yeah, wow. All right, that's a really good question. I don't even think I've ever thought of my Mount Rushmore before, right? Like I've never really, like my personal one, like because it's
right.
I guess for Mount Rushmore, it's like you could pick, the obvious ones like Steve Austin, The Rock, maybe John Cena, The Undertaker, Rick. Like you could pick like obvious ones, right? For me personally, like my era of growing up watching wrestling was like the Ruthless Aggression era. So like the mid 2000s, that was like really where for me, that was where it was peak. And so like my personal Mount Rushmore, if I started there, would be Cena. Cena would be there for sure, like 100%.
Definitely.
Edge would have to be there. Like I hated him when I was a kid, but he's the man.
All the right reasons. All the right reasons.
Exactly. So those two would be there for sure. It'd be hard to go past Ray, I think, Mysterio.
Oh yeah.
I feel like it'd be hard to go past him. And then oh man, that next one's tricky. Like maybe Batista. Actually, no, it'd have to be Batista. And then an honorable mention, let's say the Undertaker, right?
Oh yeah,
but, like he's kind of like an obvious one, I think. But yeah, those four, like Ray, Batista, Cena, and Edge, they would be my Mount Rushmore, I think, definitely. But it's funny because I probably haven't taken any inspiration from them before. Like, I mean, I probably have. Let's be real. Like, I would have, I'm sure. But I think, I don't know. Like, I feel like because my style, if anything, my style is probably closest to Ray doing, a lot of rope space moves and high flying kind of stuff. But, I don't do a 619 or anything like that. So it's sort of like, I don't know. I probably haven't taken too much inspiration from them. Maybe Edge from a psychology perspective.
That's always best. Ultimate opportunities.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites too.
100%. Yes. So yeah, that's probably where I'd like mindset wise, maybe from him a little bit. Like he had a podcast a couple of years ago that was so good, and he used to drop some serious knowledge on it that I would take a lot of stuff from. So I think maybe if I had to pick two from that Mount Rushmore and create like inspiration and maybe where I get a bit of vision from, it'd be those to be Ray and Edge, I'd say.
Yeah, and it's wonderful that they was a tag team, so that's even better.
100%, exactly.
Okay. So, getting on to a few more things about your career and everything. You were in the Conquest tournament and then the Rising Tide tournament where you actually were in the finals.
Yeah.
So my question is, like, through that entire tournament, I was asked, which opponent do you think that if you ran it back with again, even if it's the finals, even if it's like the first match you were in and everything, which opponent do you think would be better, like you would have a better match with now in 2025?
So with the Rising Tide tournament, it was I talked about the heat before, like where I live is very hot. Where that tournament was based, it's even hotter than where I live. So it's like 5 hours from where I live. It's a 5 hour drive. And yeah, it is even hotter than like where I live currently, right? And that was a 1 night tournament. So I did all 3 matches in the same night.
Oh damn.
And so I think for me, I feel terrible saying this. I can't even remember the guy I wrestled second. I remember the first match and I remember the last match. I can't remember the middle match. But what I do remember is I remember in the last match I was really tired. I was exhausted. Like I'd lost like all of my electrolytes. I'd lost all my water. Like I was wrecked. So I think probably the final, because I mean, A, I lost, and B, I was exhausted. So I think like for me, and I've never wrestled that guy either, which is pretty crazy because him and I have both been around for quite a while. And that was the first time I'd ever wrestled him. And I think he and I would probably have the best match if we ran it back, just purely based on the fact that we probably didn't have our best match that we could have had on the night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then, that's a Rising Tide. I guess Conquest tournament. I'll go with the guy that won the Conquest tournament. His name is Edward Dusk. He's a machine. And I've never wrestled him, so I'd probably go with him.
Okay. Well, we're going to go one more round full of questions and everything like that, and then we're going to get into our first segment, all right?
Hell yeah.
So, Chris, it's going to go back on you, and then Aaron.
All right. So one thing I always get into for sure is what also makes up the inspiration for the attire. Everyone has a story behind like a certain piece that's added in, whether it's like, scripture, saying, what's that special piece that you always come to the ring with, even if you do change the gear? What's that one piece that you always bring with you?
Yeah, that's an awesome question. You know what? I never really gave much love to my gear. That's not true. I feel like I never really prioritized gear too much until probably this time last year. Right. Well, maybe like end of 2023. I was in 2023. I was in a match against Vikingo, the luchador, and the match was like it was pretty good. Like it was a real test, but it was pretty good. But the biggest piece of feedback that I got from that match was that my wrestling was good, but I didn't look like a star. Like my gear didn't make me look like I just kind of looked like a whatever, right?
Right.
And I never really I'd probably thought about it before, but I'd never really given it much attention or much love. And so that was a real like turning point for me where I realized that, oh shit, like I really need to sort this gear out, because it's great that if I can hang with someone, that's great. But if I don't look like I should be there, well then what's the point, right?
Yeah.
So I went on a, yeah, exactly. Because there's so many people that have such good gear, especially for example, like in Japan, like the gear, the wrestling gear in Japan is next level. Like it's insane. It's just,
true.
It's just crazy. So if you don't sort of look like you fit, well, then it's just a little bit, like what you're kind of wasting your time, really. And so I think for me, like I went through a bit of a journey from that point. Like I wrestled him in August, and then I tried to figure it out for a while. And originally I used to wear a singlet, like a Kurt Angle style singlet, and decided to scrap that. And now I have like shorts. And so the choice to go to the shorts wasn't, it wasn't a super, I guess like there wasn't anything really too much about it. When I first started wrestling, I started wearing shorts, so I thought I'd go back to that. I got a couple of different designs there, but the things that are really important to me that I actually have, they're not actually part of my tights. I have a ring jacket that I wear like to the ring. I actually bought that when I was in New York City. I bought it when I was in New York in December 2023. And I got it. It holds a special part to me for a few reasons. Like the writing on it is quite some. I don't know. At the time, I felt like it was kind of like speaking to me almost. Like the way that the stuff that's like written on it and things. It's sort of about taking your chances, taking your shots, like really trying to like go for things. And I felt like that, like in the moment, that's kind of where I was at. That same day, I also proposed to my fiance, so it's got like a special line there, which is cool.
Yeah.
And then I have these other I have these two bandanas that I wear to the ring. They're like just above my boots. I tie them onto my legs, and two places that I feel like as a wrestler I really found myself. One was in Japan, and the other was in South America in a country called Peru, and both of those places are obviously a very deep culture and very significant culture. And I feel like the two bandanas that I wear, one represents one of those cultures, the other represents the other, and that they have certain patterns and stuff. And I wear them every time too. They always come off, but thankfully I haven't lost them. But
Right,
they always
yeah.
loosen up. They always come off.
Yeah,
So,
they meant to
yeah,
be back on there. Definitely.
100%. But yeah, so probably those two things, I think.
Okay. All right. Visionary. Go ahead, start it off.
Okay, what was that match you saw as a kid that got you into wrestling?
When I was a kid,
Yeah.
I think, man, that's a tricky one. You know what? I think it's probably. I'd already been watching wrestling for a little bit at this point, but I feel like this is a match that really stands out, and it's Edge versus Cena TLC, like Unforgiven maybe in 2006.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I feel like as a kid, that was maybe my first time where I kind of saw Edge maybe like as human. Like he's standing in the ring in that moment, and he gets announced in his hometown. He's WWE champ, and you can see you can see he's really emotional. And even as a kid, I feel like that like resonated with me. I was like, man, like okay, that's actually like a real human. Like he really gives a shit about this, you know. Like I feel like for me, like maybe at the time I didn't realize, but like I really resonated with that because that's exactly how I felt, and that's still how I feel about the business and stuff. So yeah, that match really stands out. So I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah. It's one of my favorites too.
Yeah, nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we actually gonna get on into a segment where we are gonna have you blind rank Australian wrestlers 1 through 10. So right here, I got a full list
While losing my
of
friends.
wrestlers that we just gonna have you pick against. You'll
Cool.
never know because 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna save some of the best for last.
Nice.
All right. So, but we're gonna get started off with an easy one. We're gonna get started off with a professional wrestler, Rhea Ripley. Where do we rank her at?
Ooh.
Top 10.
Miami.
Oh man.
Yep.
He started on big, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah.
Especially
I thought I was
current
gonna
day
do
right
something
now.
light.
No.
Come on now, y'all know it's me now.
Starting with Rhea,
Yeah.
Yeah, shit.
I
Oh man,
understand.
that's
That
hard.
means you need to be
I'm gonna
worried about
go.
what else I got in this list.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go number 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna put
That's
it at
cool.
3, just because I'm like, I don't know. You started off high. I don't know where you're going with this.
We got Grayson Waller.
Ah,
My man.
Grayson Waller.
Shit. He can go at number 2. He's my
Okay.
guy.
Good number 2. All right. So now we're gonna switch it up and we're gonna go to Bronson Reed.
How could I forget Bronson?
Mhm.
It's crazy. Yeah. I remember like his Jonah excursion for a little minute.
Yeah.
That kind of
Yeah.
ruined 2K. His whole model and everything was in there already.
He So he's one of the driving forces behind the guys that run the Conquest tournament that I was in this year. So that's his like home promotion when he was in Australia. I'm gonna go number 4. Just go 2, 3, 4 so far.
Okay. All right. Next we got Buddy Matthews, or what he goes by in AEW. You know, what was it again,
Yeah.
Chris? I forgot.
Well, it was Buddy Murphy.
I don't
then
see him that
Buddy
much on
Matthews.
TV,
Buddy
so it's like I can't remember the name. I
Yeah.
remember Buddy Matthews the most for some reason.
He's a really, really good wrestler.
Yeah.
Very.
I don't know if I can put him at number 1 though. But now I see where we're going. I'm kind of like, oh man, who's gonna be number 1? Like I probably already picked them, so I'll put him at number 5. I'll just put him there. I don't know. I'll see what continues to pop up.
All right. Next, we got Kyle Fletcher.
Dude, he's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. You know what? This is going to be like crazy to say, but maybe in like 4 years' time, people will get it. I'm gonna put him number one, just because I don't know
Okay.
where else we're gonna go, and I'm just gonna put him at number
Not
one
bad.
because
Understandable.
I think
Understandable.
in like I don't know, give him a couple more years, that dude is gonna be like at the top of the industry. I think he is ridiculous, and he's like 25. He's so young.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay.
So I'll put him there.
Now we are gonna go with. Don't know how you gonna feel about this one. I don't know if you know this guy enough. Kangaroo Kennedy,
Oh, I haven't heard
independent
that
guy.
in so long.
Kangaroo Kennedy. I don't even know who that
Hmm.
is.
That
Kangaroo
is.
Kennedy. He was an Australian heavyweight champion. He died in 2002. He had like a few good
Wow.
matches and everything like that, and he was from
Okay.
Queensland.
Really?
So,
Okay.
uh-huh.
Well,
Yep.
he can hold. Oh man. So I've gone. I've got everyone up to 5, right?
Yeah.
So
Yep. Yep. Six
he
two
sounds
ten.
like he was pretty good. I'm gonna go number. I'm gonna go 7.
Okay. Okay. Next, we have a familiar opponent that you actually had a few matches with in your career. We got
Hmm.
EC Diamond.
Oh shit! Damn. He's a really good wrestler, up and coming. He's just come back after having a little bit of time off. So shout out to EC.
Hmm.
He actually spent some time at OVW in Louisville. So he's a very good worker. Man, I'm gonna put him at number 8 just because I feel like you're like holding out on like a bigger one that I'm gonna have to put at number 6.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. So we're gonna go with another guy. I don't really know how you guys gonna feel about this guy. Well, I know why I personally put this guy. Nathan Jones.
He can go at number 10.
I knew I liked you. That's all I gotta
Yeah.
say. I knew I liked you.
I haven't heard of Nathan Jones mentioned on the channel in I don't know how many
In a
episodes
You
long
now.
never will
time.
again. You never will
The
again, Chris.
first
I
and
ain't
last
bucking.
time.
This will be the last time. No disrespect to him, but no.
He gonna
No,
call
no,
you
no.
out with a promo.
Ain't nobody gonna listen to that. It's gonna be 7 people who gonna see that. Who gonna see that? You know what? We just gonna move on. Shout out to Nathan Jones, man. Shout out to Nathan
I'm sure
Jones.
he's doing cool things now.
Uh, all right. So we got who we gonna go with? We are gonna go with hmm. I don't know if he's actually from here, but a guy that you also faced in your career, Sam
Hmm.
Cannon.
Sam Cannon, damn. Yeah, he's also a really good wrestler. Actually, I wrestled him twice. So we got Nathan Jones at 10, EC at
Mm-hmm.
8. We got 6 and 9 left over.
Yep.
Hmm. I'm gonna go 9 just because I feel like the last one's like I feel like you're, you're setting me up for a big last one.
You know, maybe I am. Maybe I'm not.
I kind of hope you're not
So
now. I hope you just count out some obscure person I've never heard of.
Renegade.
Oh, Renegade. Yeah, he can go number 5, number 6. That's cool. He's actually my favorite opponent I've wrestled on the Indies.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
He and
the main
I,
reason why I bring him up
yeah,
is I actually got a chance if you guys want to look up on YouTube and everything like that. Surprisingly, you can find most of these matches on the YouTube pages and everything. So I got a chance to actually see the match that you guys had in the semifinals. And as much as you're like a real like I would say like you were like you say yourself you're a high flying type of guy,
yeah,
honestly, like with that match and everything, you really kept it really to the ground. Really, it's like there was a few flips and everything like that, but you kept it real
sure.
technical style wrestling. Like,
Interesting.
so it's just like what like set like Chris might have asked you about your move set and everything like that, but it's just like
Hmm.
when do you know that it's time to like when it's time to okay he can't really mess with me up here
Yep.
let me springboard drop kick or like oh okay this guy's ready for these type of moves so let's go ahead and just stay with the mat.
Yeah, that hyper style.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a really good question. Actually, I think for me, I feel like I don't normally go. It's hard to say. I feel like I'll normally start fast. Like my matches, they start quick generally. Maybe not so quick in the tournament because I was probably tired, but I feel like they normally start really fast, and then they'll slow down, maybe go more like a little bit closer to the mat, and then I
Mhm.
feel like I normally take it up a notch and go high again when I feel like I really need to close it out, right? Like
Yeah,
you
that
know,
second
sometimes it works,
gear.
sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, exactly. Just really trying to find that next level. When maybe some of the other stuff hasn't worked, that's kind of when I'll go to the top, or go to the middle, wherever I'm coming at you from.
No, that's true. That's true. That's fair. All
Yeah,
right, and then we're gonna pass it over to Visionary, and he's gonna start the second round of questions.
nice.
What was your favorite figure as a kid?
Figure Edge.
Yeah. Cool, cool, cool.
Yeah. It was actually my very first one. That's why that was an easy question. You know what? I also really had a Mr. Kennedy figure that he had really cool tights on. That was sick
Oh
too.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Mr.
Shout out to Ken
Kennedy. I
Kennedy.
haven't heard Mr. Kennedy
Yeah,
name brought up in such a long ass time.
exactly. Yeah.
He's
So no,
so
I think
underrated, but I haven't heard that name in a minute.
100%. No, he is. I think for sure. I think yeah, probably Edge just purely because it was my very first one I got, and then I think that
Mhm.
kind of almost helped me my fandom of getting into wrestling.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Then maybe at the end of the podcast, show
Okay,
you a few
okay.
of my figures off. You know.
Yeah. Please.
Yeah.
All right. And then Chris, it's over to you.
All right. So jumping back around, what's a move that you would consider to be a good go-to if you need to defeat the streak? You're up against
Ooh.
Undertaker WrestleMania moment, and you have to defeat the streak. What's that last finish move that you have to give Undertaker?
So basically, it sounds
Oh,
like what move you gonna give Undertaker a concussion with? Because that's the only way
Yeah.
you
You
yeah.
getting
got.
Undertaker at
That's
Mania
the only way
Night.
I'm getting it, brother. That's the
Yeah.
only way it's happening. Damn.
I'll take a
Of
Hulk
my own,
concussion.
of
Either
my
of your
own.
own or something that we haven't seen
Yeah.
yet. Something you may be
Yeah.
trying on the side.
Damn. I reckon it'll be hard to go past my. So the finish that I use is it's called the marquee driver, and there's a
Hmm.
story behind that. But it's basically it's the heat seeker that MJF does. So like through the
Yeah.
Mhm.
ropes, pile driver. Um, I'll be hitting him with a few of those for
Oh yeah.
sure. It wouldn't be.
Yeah.
It would
Yeah,
take more
you
than
you
one.
got to
It
at
would take
least
more
get
than one.
7 of those.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because his
yeah. Seven.
stamina.
Yeah.
WrestleMania
the guy,
Undertaker. It's hard
the
to beat.
guys will tell
Yeah,
you I love a power
it's
driver,
happening.
God style and all. We was just talking about that.
Straight up.
Hmm.
It's like y'all can just see
So
it now. Taking a few
Yeah,
touchdowns.
yeah.
That'd be a good
so
match
I
too.
want to basically get into 2017. It seems like when you started your wrestling career and everything, what would you
Yeah.
say is one of those things that if you could tell yourself basically 8 years ago, like what would you tell yourself then if you go back?
Yeah. Hmm. I would say, it's so funny. I actually kind of thought about this yesterday.
Hmm.
Um, it would be, I feel like for me, I waited a while before I really started to properly pursue things.
Hmm.
And I would not do that. I would just say, just go hard. Like, I feel like originally I was, when you break in, you kind of, you do what you're told and, you follow all the rules, which is obviously what you're supposed to do, right?
Right.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Um, but I think in doing that, you get afraid of doing anything outside of the norm.
Right.
And I think for me, like when I sort of first started traveling around and doing, trying to have a go, basically, I feel like that was kind of when, like that was really when everything started happening for me. But it was also, I was like in my local area, I was like probably one of the first people to do that, and now a lot of people are doing it, which is great.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I think that's probably what it would be. It would be like, just don't wait, just pursue things. Because I waited, and I probably waited like 3 years. And it's just honestly like it was just a waste of time. Like if I had have, and I mean, like you never know, right? You can't look back and regret things. But like if I had have done that, who knows where I would have been by this point, and not continuing to work out things. So
Yeah.
that's probably what it'd be.
True.
Don't wait.
Okay.
1000%.
So we're gonna get
Yeah.
through our last final round, the questions and everything. So we're gonna go ahead and have LC start one more time with his question.
Yeah.
So looking into the future with currently how your career is going and everything, which is on the great side,
Yeah.
who is someone that you haven't faced that you plan to wrestle, either this year or up in the upcoming years? What's somebody that
Yeah.
whether it's taking a title from that person that's currently holding it, or even just
Sure.
simply stepping in the ring with them?
Yeah. For me, I think there's a couple of there's one main like obvious one. The first one that came to mind, and that was so the guy that trained me, Kyle Fletcher's tag team partner, so Mark Davis in AEW. He's the guy that I really credit with training me. He and I had a match in 2021, but I got hurt. I got hurt like 7 minutes in, and at the time, like that was probably that was like my biggest moment to date, right? Like that was going to be like my big breakout match or whatever, right?
Definitely.
It was when he was sort of just coming back from a really big injury. He'd already made a big name for himself in the UK, and he'd come out here basically to rehab his leg. And I was the only person he'd chosen to wrestle in that time. And I felt like the whole thing was just such a disappointing time. And ever since then, he's gone on to do some really great things. I've been fortunate enough to do some really cool things as well. And our relationship on a personal level has gone really well. So I would love to run that back. And I do feel like it's something that is possible that could happen in the next 12 months. So I would go with that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your favorite faction? If you had a faction, what would the name be, and who would you put in the faction?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Favorite
unlimited
one.
pickings.
Yeah. Damn. Favorite one. Dude, it's hard. Like, how do you go past Evolution? Like,
it's GOAT.
How?
GOAT team.
You know what I mean? Like, look at every single person in that group. Like, yeah. Like, how do you go past them? So I'd have to say them. They had a kick-ass theme song too. Like, so good.
By Motorhead, that's fire.
Yeah,
Definitely.
exactly.
Something about Triple H in a suit without a tie makes me mad. I don't know why. I don't know why.
It just gets you angry, right? Like, just
Like,
something about
it.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, with the ponytail too. Like,
especially the ponytail.
Get out of here, 100%. Yeah. Yeah, no,
they're over the golden suits. It's like, all right, this is what we do.
Exactly.
That was like the era of the oversized suits too.
Yeah,
like Batista had some crazy outfits back in the day.
Yeah,
the white turtleneck fit.
White turtleneck is infamous.
Boy,
Insane.
Batista used to dress like he owned the nightclub in Miami. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, always.
100%. He sure did. Dude, 100%. I think, yeah. And then, oh man, when it comes to faction, damn, like if I was to create one, choosing anybody.
Yeah, anybody. Past, present.
I'm gonna go. I'll pick 4 people. I'm gonna put myself in it. Me, Mr. Perfect.
Oh, nice one.
Current Christian, like Christian Cage right now.
That's W.
Oh man,
it's still a great possibility we can see that current day.
Yeah.
That's right there. Man. The match against Mark Davis and then the team up with Christian Cage.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like if they're listening to the people,
that's what the people want,
right?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, man, I don't know. One other person. I'm just gonna say Ludwig Kaiser. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know why. Feels right. Feels right for that group. I don't know.
Yeah.
You see, I ain't gonna lie to you. I like one of them two. Like you see, you had me with Mr. Perfect, but Christian and Ludwig, I ain't gonna lie to you. I feel like I'd have to swing off of one of them because they gonna piss me off mid match. Either Christian gonna say something to me in his promo, or Ludwig gonna do too
Yeah,
much flexing and get beat up in the middle of the ring, and
yeah,
I'm gonna have to
The
get
great
physical.
thing
yeah,
about all three of those guys, they are perfect on the mic.
Yeah.
Literally,
yeah,
Mr.
Yeah,
Perfect,
I mean,
he
you ain't
was
really got to worry
made
about the
perfect
mic.
for the mic. Yeah, but
You ain't got to worry
also
about
yeah,
the
they
mic, but you
backing it up
definitely
in the
ain't got to worry
ring
about the wrestling either.
at
It's
all, at all.
like Mr.
Yeah,
Perfect, like perfect
and
plex, like
that's infamous knowledge for you
yeah,
right there.
yeah.
like
One hundred
can't hate
percent.
that.
It's almost a bad thing that they can all talk because it. I mean, I guess well, it's not a bad thing, but like, maybe I should
They,
have picked people that like one person can talk, the other ones need help, and then they could have helped.
but the great thing is everybody can demolish you. They can just like say one word and
Yeah,
pass it along, and right
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
there it's just like you got that one heel faction that literally can get over anything. Like that
See,
could have
one
but
been
hundred
a
percent.
modern day of that.
Christian, like this day and age, this Christian, like back then, Christian, he probably would have told you shut up. This day and age, Christian, to call you a bitch and then like he'll puff a cigarette in your face. Like
Don't forget,
that's
he's
the
gonna
Christian
mention
we got
something
this day
about
and age.
somebody's
Yeah,
father.
he's gonna try and be your dad too, hundred
Like
percent.
Yeah.
Like he got one time, like he'd be like, "That's why your daddy hip busted." Like, what did that have to do with us fighting? Like now I got to put my hands on you even quicker because why was my dad the number one thing you thought about?
Yeah, why
This
is he in there?
motherfucker
Why is he
bring
even
up like, remember that girl stood you up for homecoming? Like, damn, nigga,
Hey,
are you reading my yearbook?
hey, he got to go back and get the right information. That's the only way
Like,
he
boy,
can get to
Christian
you.
is the
He does his
Nardwar of
research.
wrestling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hey,
straight up, he
he's been
is.
a journalist for so long. That's how he got into the game.
But getting on to it before we get into the final segment and everything, I just want to talk about your wrestling career just a little bit more in general, just so people can understand it. When you talk about your career, when you started in 2017, you basically had pretty much great years to where in 2017 you might only have 4 matches, but you were 50-50 in that. The same
Yeah,
thing next year, 6 matches, 50-50. And as it just kept going higher and higher throughout the years. So I'm just going basically I'm gonna ask you just off of thinking and everything about your wrestling career. What would you say? Which year do you think was the best career wins for you?
like for winning for matches or just like the best year in my career
You can give me
because they're
both.
not the same. Yeah, I was gonna say
You can give me
they're
both.
definitely they're not the same. I would say that in 2022, on paper, was the most successful year. I won all the championships, not all of them, but I won a lot of them. I was winning lots of matches, right?
Mhm.
But then by far the most successful year for my career and my like career progression was absolutely 2023 without question. And then that year you'll probably have a look like if that's like cage match records or something like that, you'll see
Hmm.
that I won like my win loss record was like 3-20. It was crazy. Like it was
Yeah,
insane. I was putting everybody over that year.
yeah. It
But
was
it
actually 4-21, but
there you go.
2022 was your best year because you had a
Yeah.
total of basically a win percentage of 76.9. Not a lot of people
Exactly.
Fire.
get not a lot of people get 76% of their wins in the independent scene. It's a good
Mhm.
amount of people who sit at like 32 for like their entire career. So for the
Yeah.
fact that
Which is
you took
insane.
home like 70%, each year
Made
it
up for
got a
the next
chance to
year.
grow.
Yeah.
So my main questions are basically after this before we begin, what do you feel like if you can give a prediction on how many wins you think you can get? Now, as a professional wrestler, you
Mhm.
can't really be like, oh, okay, I'm set to win this many matches because you never really know
Yeah.
exactly what you're gonna get when you get into the ring with a guy. But as as a estimate on how many matches you had, because in 2024 you had 16. Let's say you have 29 matches in
Yeah.
2025. What's a strong prediction of matches you feel like you could win?
I think hmm let's round it up to 30. Let's say I have 30.
Hmm.
I think this year, I feel like this year will be closer. It'll be better than 2023, that's for sure. I think
Hmm.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be more 50-50. Like I'm gonna say like 14,
Okay.
15, 16.
15, 15.
Yeah, where I'm at the moment, I'm in a position where I am tasked with working with a lot of young wrestlers,
Right.
and helping them out and as best I can, teaching them and stuff. So I feel like that's what will attribute to my 15 and 15. Let's say.
Okay. Okay. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, we are finna go ahead and get started, and we are gonna do 10-minute heat wave. Now, normally we end up doing this 20, but we don't want to take up too much of your time. So, right
It's
here, I
cool.
got 10 minutes worth of questions. Basically, most of these might be wrestling questions. Some of these might, again, just to see if I like you enough as a person. Just because, when it comes down to it, the number one thing for us, is honesty, So,
Yeah,
as long
let's
as you're
do it.
gonna honest as long as you're gonna honestly answer all of these questions here, sounds like we're gonna have a good time, all right?
I just could
All right,
feel the first question being something outrageous.
just
It could
crazy,
be
something
Oh,
anything.
Chris,
crazy.
you know what the first
Always.
question is. I never
I just feel it. It's
I
right
never
here.
steer away from this question, Chris. I've got somebody to answer this question already, so I'm going 2 for 2 tonight. You
All
ready?
right, let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Mustiest city you've ever been
I
in.
knew it. I just
Oh
knew
I knew
shit.
it.
it.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Ooh, oh man, I feel like this should be like right there, right on top of my head.
Like, even if you didn't wrestle through there, if you drove through and had to stop to get
So I just
gas and you
went
was like,
there.
ooh, damn, this street musty.
I'm gonna say I'm actually just I didn't wrestle there. I'm gonna say like Bali, Indonesia. It's, you got an answer,
That's
brother.
all I needed. Y'all got
That's all you
y'all got
needed.
the
You're
next set
done.
of questions. That's I'm just here. I'm just here now.
This is the one. It's all the one you needed.
I'm
Yeah,
cool. I
go,
might
bro.
have a few more in a minute, but I'm cool. I got you to answer that question. Everybody else be
He's
trying to
like,
be
that's the
nice and
main
stuff like
question.
that. Nah, be truthful with me.
I rate it. I like it.
Uh, all right, LC.
Okay. What's that go-to shoe whenever you go to when you go shopping and you're going to pick out shoes? What's your go-to pick?
Yep.
Whether it's like
Yeah, yeah,
brand
yeah,
wise, colorway.
yeah. Yeah, so at the moment, the go-to, well, it's kind of just changed, but I honestly, I couldn't tell you. I actually don't know what the one I just got was. They're a New Balance. They're like a dad sneaker, like classic. But no, for up until like recently, and it's still the daily pretty much. I had these two like SB Dunks, like just the low cut ones.
Yeah.
I've got one in like the North Carolina blue,
hmm
Mm,
and then I've got like a green colored one too. I like a dark green. I don't really
It's
know
like
what
the
style it
emerald
is, but
green.
they're
Yeah,
they're the dailies. They're the dailies, and I'll continue to buy those. That's it.
Yeah.
Just
definitely.
not very good at training. I can't really like go on the stairmaster with those. It hurts my feet.
Yeah, yeah. They definitely just like a casual wear.
Yeah,
hmm
100%.
okay,
Go
okay.
with everything. You wear them with a suit if you wanted
Visionary.
to.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Go on here with your question.
What's your favorite theme of all time? Wrestling
Oh
theme?
shit.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a
Yeah.
good one. Damn.
Just because I keep coming back to Edge's stuff, I'm not gonna say his theme, even though it's like
It's
Definitely
awesome.
top
I'm
the
of
gonna
mine.
best.
say,
Yeah,
Best
he
of the
had
yeah,
best.
yeah,
different
yeah.
I
iterations
don't
of
know.
it.
Hold up, Visionary. You can't say the best when the Hardy Boys entrance music is still alive. Like, if the Hardy Boys music play at WrestleMania, it's gonna get just as much, if
Yeah,
not a
it's gonna
bigger
get
pop than
crazy.
that. You think you know me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
For the
I'm, that,
second
yeah.
that
I
time
that's
think
just me
around.
though. That's just me though.
Yeah,
I'm an Edge hater sometimes. Just because you brought up that shit with Jeff Hardy and you got it, you
Jeff
got it.
Hardy, Matt Hardy, and Lita. It was
I'm
insane
gonna let him
moment.
finish, but you ain't right for that. I'm gonna let him finish, but you ain't right.
I think I'm gonna pick Batista, his theme. I walk
Oh
alone,
yeah,
man. You can't go
Oh,
wrong.
that's fire too. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
entire
yeah,
entrance.
yeah,
And the
yeah. The
pyro and
whole the
stuff.
whole
Yeah.
thing, the part, yeah, the machine guns,
Everybody
like
know.
Yeah.
loves it.
You
Yeah,
feel?
exactly.
See, I
100%.
like Batista was never more of a heel than when he stopped doing that and he just had the spotlight on him when he came to the ring.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't do the pyro. Like
You talking
that
about after
even
he
made me even
destroyed
more
Ray?
madder.
Yeah, he
Like
destroyed Ray. Poor Ray.
Hey,
you supposed to be my friend.
that
I ain't trying to hear
terrified
that.
me to see that. It was like, what?
You gonna do Ray like that? Think about Eddie. He didn't give a
Yeah.
damn about Eddie at that time.
He
All
wasn't
right.
thinking about anything but the belt, the
Okay.
championship.
Milk cereal or cereal milk?
Whoa.
Oh, dude, that's what do you mean? It's cereal
Yeah.
milk every day.
You see, I got that question from somebody before, and like I said before, if I catch anybody ever, and I do mean
Doing it the
ever,
other way.
Milk? Green
pouring milk, measuring the milk to see how much cereal, I'm calling the police that day.
cereal?
I'm
That's
gonna
some,
fabricate
that's
what I
serial
seen you
killer
do,
energy.
but you going to
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
jail that day.
crazy.
Milk damn
Yeah, no,
cereal. I don't even think I could
nobody's doing.
possibly do that on purpose and still be okay with eating that.
Like that's not even a reverse hot thing. Like you gotta have like there's enough common sense in the world to where you gotta put the cereal first and then the milk. But
Yeah,
you know, I'm just gonna leave
Hey,
that alone.
yeah,
yeah, it's definitely the
Leave
other
that
way.
every
alone.
serial killer has a preference.
And to go off of that, actually, what is the best cereal all time?
Man, you guys have way like we don't have anywhere near the options that you guys have. Ours is so basic. So I'm gonna my answer is probably gonna be real basic. Like it's definitely not good for you, but Cocoa Pops is for sure the
Oh yeah,
best.
oh yeah.
Okay.
That ain't
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah,
That ain't bad.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, okay. All right.
I
LC.
just have to search all of these for a box of that. um, I'm not quite sure if you're a sports guy. Anything like, do you watch any sports in particular outside of pro wrestling?
Yeah,
Because pro
yeah,
wrestling
yeah,
is our
yeah,
sport, but we,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So
Um,
yeah. No, you asked the question, but I feel like I hope I know where you're going with this.
okay, so out of everything outside of pro wrestling, what is
Yeah.
the number one sport to you? Well,
So
number two. We'll put it as a high number two.
yeah. The only other sport that I really watch now, and I've only just started in like the last like 12 months. Well, not even the last 12 months, like the last 6 months, is the
Mhm.
NFL.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So
football. Yeah.
yeah. And so, but it's this is the worst because it makes me feel like a terrible person. But I started watching it because of the series Receiver on Netflix. So I don't know if you guys have seen that, but the series, Receiver on Netflix follows like 5 wide receivers. And there's a receiver on there. He plays for Detroit named Amon-Ra St. Brown. And I just loved him. I was like, oh, this guy's story's sick. Like the way he was brought up is cool. Like the way he was raised, and he's like a killer athlete. And so because of that, I started following Detroit. But now Detroit, for the first time ever, like doing really, really well.
Right.
And so now I feel like I just jumped on the bandwagon, and like I'm not a real fan, but I love it. I've been watching all the
No, you
games.
caught it. Yeah, you caught it at the right
No,
time.
I got
you
like
got a
Like
good
it,
I got
time.
a
yeah.
Lions, I have my Lions shirt right here, like
Oh
just
yeah,
sitting there.
That's
yeah,
fire.
yeah.
That's
No,
I'm
you're
all
a real
over it.
fan. It's hard to
See,
jump on the bandwagon when you know how bad they were tanking
Oh
beforehand.
man, they sucked, and like they've
Some,
just turned everything around. Like their
yeah.
coach is killer, their team's just smashing it. Like so many of their players just made the All Pro team. Like, dude, what's not to love? But
Sometimes
yeah,
it just
that's
takes
for me.
a Netflix documentary or a couple shows, get the ball rolling
Introduce
there.
them, and
Yeah,
that's it.
you
yeah.
are
It
That's it.
didn't
What about
work
you
out
guys? You
well
guys have
for
a team?
Chicago, but
Yeah, well, yeah,
the
yeah.
you
last
are
dance
wild,
was
Chris. I
literally
ain't
the
gonna hold
last
you.
dance.
Yeah.
You a wild man, Chris. I ain't even gonna hold you. Visionary, what you got next?
Okay. If you had the choice to choose between ending Ric Flair career, or ending Sean career, or beating the streak, which one are you doing?
I already asked a streak question, so
Whoa.
you gotta switch the streak up.
Oh, I'm getting
That's just
Ric
kind
Flair
of the
out of
same,
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think.
But
See, like as the fan in me, right? The fan in me would never end the streak. But then
Hmm.
as a wrestler, like look at what it did for Brock, right? Like look
Right.
at where he went, like after he ended it. So it's like,
Yeah.
how could you not want that kind of run? You know, like I don't know. I feel like you'd almost have to say that. But then that being said, there's like the moments that were made on ending of like Sean and Rick's career was like unreal, right? So it's like those things will also never be forgotten. I'd probably say Rick, but the caveat, like the important part is that the dude has to stay retired. Like you
Right.
can't just come
Yeah.
back.
Come
Like
back and
you
have
gotta
another
stay.
match.
You gotta stay, bro.
That's why I
Get
couldn't
out
see
of
Ric
here.
Flair, because after that, Ric Flair just gonna jump to another promotion and have his final match
Yeah,
there.
It's like, hey,
Ric
I'm
Flair, the only man I know to retire more times than he held
I was
championships.
like, what you mean retired? I didn't
literally.
retire. I didn't
Yeah.
But I
retire.
just seen you on TV say goodbye to everybody. I ain't
No,
say
no,
goodbye. I
no,
ain't say
no,
goodbye to everybody. I just said goodbye to the company.
I just said goodbye to that city or that state for that time right there.
Exactly. Uh, LC, go ahead and finish it up with the final one.
Final one.
Yep.
What's your favorite game of all time? If you have played any video games or anything, what's your favorite video game of all time?
Yeah. I was like not like a huge gamer when I was a kid, but I did play a few, and I don't really play much anymore. But when I was younger, I mean, I was a big SmackDown vs Raw guy, like smash
Yeah,
those, right?
yeah.
Loved all of them. To be fair, there's other game I really love. It was like a motocross game, like a motorbike game. Fucking loved it. It was sick.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that I mean, I'd probably run with those two, and then maybe like the first Modern Warfare game, like
Oh
Call of
yeah.
Duty Modern Warfare.
Mm,
That was like I don't know why the
real
first one, but
nostalgic.
yeah,
First one,
yeah. Maybe
it got
that's
more
what it is.
nostalgia. Yeah, it was way more fun compared to recent.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay,
But yeah,
okay. You answered everything fully truthfully, but now we're gonna get to the final question I like to call the burning question. Therefore,
nice.
when you all set and done with wrestling, when you put those boots up, when you're just who you are, you're not a
Yeah.
wrestler no more, you're not a teacher, you're not professional or anything. You just live a normal life. Once you're in the Hall of Fame, once you're just done with your wrestling career, what do you see yourself doing to make a mark more memorable inside and outside the ring? What is something that you
Yeah.
plan on doing in the future to actually, leave a legacy more important than wrestling in general?
Something so. I think for me, and correct me if I answer this incorrectly, but I think for me, I mean, I already teach, like I already coach, like beginners and stuff,
Hmm.
and I love teaching, so I would continue to teach. But one thing that has always been really, really fun for me has been when I've traveled to places that the wrestling scene is even smaller than it is in Australia. So, like, I wrestled in Peru, I wrestled in Vietnam before, like a bunch of different places, and the passion is like huge, right? The passion is like
Mm-hmm.
super, like they've just got so much passion for the business, but they just no one knows who they are. Like, and nobody knows who people are in Australia really. And so when it comes to those places, like they're really isolated. So I'll probably try and do my best to incorporate travel, incorporate wrestling, do that, and then maybe teach in that aspect, like go teach in those places for a week or whatever that is, and do that regularly. That'd be something I think would be really cool.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Feel like you're never
Yeah.
really done with the business. Even once
Nah.
you are retired or anything like that, you still have that natural aspect
Yeah.
to give back to it, which is like that's the whole calling to it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know.
Like that. And I think like there's always, you can always, like, for lack of a better word, like you can always go and be an accountant, right? Like you can always go and do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can do that when
Mm-hmm.
you're 50, right? Like you might not be able to do this when you're 50. So like that's always kind of going to be there. You could always go and do that. And so, yeah, I would probably do that. I'd probably, travel, train people if I had the means to, right? Like travel, train people, help them out, help them pursue their passion, and be a good family man. Those be the two things.
Oh yeah,
Okay, okay.
1,000%.
I mean, you. I mean, he answered everything correctly. He answered it. It was like you can't really be mad at it. I thought I was gonna set him up, but not really when it came to the mustiest city thing. And I've got two people.
I
I've
I
got
got
it
you.
back to back interviews, so I know that I don't expect nobody to bullshit around. Like I expect the answer every time now.
Yeah,
And
I
it's
got
like
you.
you, like Chris, you should have known that was coming.
Oh
I
yeah,
was
I
gonna
kind
lead
of
with
I
that
kind of
every.
felt it there. I was like, I just know the questions all of a sudden now. Like we haven't even had to
What?
do like a script or writing anything lately. It's more just like we come off the top of the head, and
Yeah.
This
I
computer
know.
has
Yeah,
been
I
blacked
know I'm
out
back.
since. This computer has been blacked out
It's
ever
dead.
since after I listed off his accomplishments. I have not touched his computer again. I already knew my
Yeah,
questions I needed to know to see if I
like
like you as a
that's
What's
my
person.
fault.
the
I'm like,
what's the answer? What was the other answer given for Musty City? That's what I want to know.
Somewhere in Canada, I forgot exactly where,
Oh, shit.
but
Yeah,
you
okay.
know, I'm just waiting to see if somebody gonna say the states because it's a city that I feel is just musty. I ain't never been there, but Maryland, I feel like Maryland is
I
musty.
feel like Maryland is.
Mm. Yeah,
You
It
gonna
just
right.
be
I
it
don't
just
know.
sounds like a musty city. Like where you finna travel to? I'm
So
going to Maryland.
what would you guys say?
Musty.
What would you guys say? What would your answers be?
Mustiest city so far, probably Tennessee.
Oh,
Champagne
wow.
has them beat 1,000%.
Champagne is musty, but Tennessee is hot and musty. Like it's
Oh,
like
okay.
if you in Champagne and you musty in the wintertime, that's just on you. Like that's just
Yeah.
on you. The whole city don't get musty until the summertime. Like Tennessee, it's
that
always musty. In Tennessee, it could be 36 degrees. It's gonna be musty by nighttime.
that is wow. That is wow.
But other than that, though, we just want to say thank you one more time to you, Mitch. You know, this was a good interview. You know, we got a chance to know a lot about you, and just to get a little bit of hindsight more onto wrestling. Is there any things you want to promote? Any wrestling events? Pages?
Sure. We've got some where I live in Australia. So as I was saying, in Brisbane, we for the very first time ever have actually we've actually got like a big pro wrestling thing coming to Brisbane, and that's the AEW Grand Slam coming up in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And so for us, like WWE have come to Australia and things like that, and they always, there's always a little bit of buzz around those things, but it's never in Brisbane. It's always in Sydney, Melbourne, Perth, somewhere else, right? So it's never really happened here for us. And so what's really cool is it's almost like a mini WrestleMania weekend for us, right? Like there's so many independent shows off the back of it. Like it'll probably be the busiest weekend in my career, I think. Just with everything going on. The night before we have the Australian Pro Wrestling Super Show, which is going to be awesome. And there's just so many things like coming up that weekend. There's shows the day of. So I'm really I'm really excited for that because it's probably the first and only time that it's going to happen for us. I think here, like locally, like anytime I've ever done anything big in my wrestling career, I've had to fly there. I've had to drive 20 hours to get there. Like it's nothing ever happens here. Like where I'm going to go sleep in my bed the same night. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that for us is really, really exciting. That's literally like a month away tomorrow. So that's really soon for us. So yeah, I'm pumped. And that's something that's on the horizon that is going to be really, really cool. And it's only going to springboard the rest of the year. I think like after that, looks like I'll probably go overseas again and keep trying to have a go.
Oh yeah.
All right, all
Yeah.
right. Well, this is pretty much the end of the podcast and everything. Again, one more time,
Nice.
we just want to give it up to Mitch Ryder.
Thanks, guys.
Definitely, we'll be looking forward to, looking into some of your matches in 2025. Pretty much, you seem like a guy that, has a lot of energy, but a guy who also isn't, too, over himself. Most guys, they, talk this talk about, being the best and everything like that. Like they have the confidence, which is cool, but they don't have the grace to realize that it's like you only have one other option to do in wrestling. It's either elevate or plummet. So it's like if you
Yeah.
don't learn from, the mistakes and everything just because you held a few championships in your career, like nothing else really goes from that. It's like great. Like I've
Yeah.
held 10 belts, but it's like how many people are really
Yeah.
gonna be like, oh yeah, I watched that championship match. Like with you, it
Yeah.
seems like you get a good fan interaction on socials, and a lot of people actually um, the guy who actually had me actually contact you for the interview, he had so much great stuff to say. I think it's
Oh wow.
Mio. Like he told me to message you, Mogio or something
Wow.
like that. I think Mogio.
Oh, Kojio. Yeah,
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 Kojio. So yeah,
yeah. Yeah,
he told
cool.
me a lot about
Nice.
you, and he told me to check out your
That's
page and
awesome.
everything. It was like, this is one of the guys that I think would be a great, conversation and sit down with. So I'm glad we
That's
got a chance
awesome.
to have this,
Yeah, thank you. I really
gentlemen.
appreciate him doing that too. I got to wrestle him in Japan with my last tour last year. So no, he's a really good dude. I really appreciate him doing that. I'm glad that that's how I was going to ask you guys how you found me. So that's awesome. And thank you so much for
Of
having me
course.
too, guys. It's been a real pleasure to answer your questions. I really appreciate it.
All right, boys, you got anything you want to finish up with before we let them go?
I mean, pretty much, 2025 is here. Like I said, we can't wait to see that match against you and Mark Davis. Not only you potentially joining Christian's family, seeing as how that's happening. So right here,
Try
like I
not to
said,
swing
Tony,
off them. I
Tony,
ain't gonna lie
listen,
to you.
yeah, Tony, listen to the people. Listen to the people.
Yeah.
You literally have a year's worth of storyline in your hand right there.
Yeah, we got you, bro. I don't. He doesn't have to write it. It's written
Yeah,
already.
yeah, it's organic. It's naturally organic. It's like you already
All
know who
right,
you want to learn from and who you have learned from. Literally there.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, that's
all
perfect.
right, visionary.
I gotta show you some of these figures, bro. I gotta show you.
Yeah, yeah. Please, bro. Please.
Uh, we got the Undertaker.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's like
The
2010,
red and
2009.
stuff. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's when he's taking out
Um,
Shawn at WrestleMania.
yeah, we got like a more classic Undertaker.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
Purple gloves,
I got
Undertaker.
you. Yeah,
yeah,
perfect. Yeah.
and then we got Shawn Michaels. I think it's WrestleMania. I think
Yo,
23 attire. I think.
I feel like I feel like I had that one.
Yeah,
I think that might
Maybe.
be
Yeah,
23.
maybe.
I think so. That's
and
when
when
he
he gets
faced
Cena.
Cena, right?
Yeah,
Yep. Okay,
uh,
okay.
we gotta have Edge.
Oh yeah, you got it.
And he
You
got
got
the
it.
rated
Yeah,
R belt on there.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's cool. I never had that. That's
yeah.
rad.
Camo attire.
Oh, that's it. Is that WrestleMania 24 Edge like camo attire?
Yeah,
Is that what he was running? I think so.
Oh yeah, was that
Yeah.
Money in the Bank that he
that's
wore
just.
that attire?
Yeah, he wore this at Money Bank too. Yeah,
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
that's when
yeah.
Jeff Hardy came through and senton on his stupid ass.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Edge. I don't care no more. You done fucked over too
He's
many
done.
people.
yeah. Oh, that's a nice one too. We
But nah,
got Sting.
Oh,
My
that's sick.
all-time favorite.
Yeah,
I'm really a
Really?
Sting fan. Sting was my
Your
number
guy?
one. Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
There's
yeah,
always
Did
something
I
different about that aspect of
Yeah,
like
yeah.
before the whole darkness changed. You went from Surfer to okay, now you're Crow. What happened there?
Yeah.
yeah. You
What's
got
going on here?
Brad. You gotta have Bret
Oh,
Hart.
that's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. How many do you have? How many in total do you think you have?
it's a lot.
so many.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Damn.
Yes.
we got
That's
You
just
gotta
Stone
get a
Cold.
shelf to
Collecting
put them
got
on.
basically almost
Yeah,
everything.
Yeah.
yeah. Those just is
Oh.
loose figures.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we definitely gonna have to
This is
get you to come
rare.
back on and play a game of just naming any action figure in any attire and basically seeing a visionary got it. We definitely
He's
gotta
got it.
reschedule this for another one.
100%.
Yeah,
It's in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Eddie.
Exactly.
Oh, that's cool. That's one I never got. I wish I had got Eddie one for sure.
Yeah, we got
I
a lot of
believe I
them.
only
We
had
got
black tights, gold shoes. I think that was the only
yeah,
Eddie I
Oh,
could find.
yeah, wow.
yeah.
The CM Punk, the like the Randy Savage gear, like CM Punk one is cool.
Oh, this
The
one.
pink tights. Yeah, yeah, I think I saw that there.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's sick. That's real cool.
this was hard to get to.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, you
Yeah.
need to put them on like a shelf or something. I see those dunks in the background too. I like it.
Oh yeah, the dunks.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, me and Visionary actually customize clothing, shoes, and different stuff like that. And here and
Oh,
there,
really?
after a while, yeah, like we make the merch and everything too.
Hmm.
Yeah, awesome. Have you guys
Yeah.
done any wrestling gear or anything?
We want to.
Not
Not
yet.
yet.
We are definitely planning on it. So
Okay.
yeah, we're
Yeah,
gonna
cool,
definitely
cool,
keep
cool,
that
cool.
in mind.
Yeah,
Definitely
yeah,
keep that
yeah.
in mind.
Sick.
Yeah,
Cool. I
it's
like
top
it.
of
I
the
like it.
list. Yeah.
See?
Yeah,
I'm
right.
Okay,
missing
that
one of
sounds
my.
like we're gonna get a pair of wrestling customs for you here shortly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
Yo.
your new go to there. Okay, okay.
Damn.
yeah.
Do you
This
like
is gonna
buy
be
these
fire.
online, or can you guys get this stuff at the store, like over
You gotta buy
there?
it online. Like I get like
Yeah,
on
to get the
eBay.
good stuff, you got to get it online.
Yeah,
Any
Yeah,
of the Target exclusives, like some of them might be good, but some of them it's just like people like wrestlers that people don't care about, like Grayson Waller.
yeah,
Nobody wants
yeah,
that
yeah.
true.
action figure.
Yeah,
That,
I lose my shop every time.
Grayson or
Respectfully,
Terry? Terry,
I'm just saying,
respectfully.
I ain't never heard a kid stop and be like, "Mom, but I wanted the Grayson Waller." I ain't never heard it.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't
I
think
feel
I
like you
will.
That
only
maybe
get
that
a
means he's doing a good
Grayson.
job though.
I feel like you can only get a Grayson if they got the 2-pack for him and Austin tag team
Yeah,
Yeah,
with it.
yeah. People are
Yeah,
definitely
but
buying
you
for
gonna take
Theory
out
for
the Austin
sure.
Theory and throw the Grayson Waller at the wall. Like, don't
I
nobody
mean,
care
he
about.
leave him in a package. At least he'd be, mint condition.
yep,
Yeah, he gonna stay that way until you forget to clean your house, and then as soon as you get done cleaning through your house, you can be like, "Damn, I did have this Grayson Waller," and
We're
throw
gonna
it in the
look back on
trash.
this 10 years now. Grayson Waller gonna hold the universal, the undisputed title, or Grayson
Chris,
Yeah,
beats Cody at Mania.
I
yeah.
got a better
It seems
chance of running
unlikely.
the third world country off of this cell phone than Grayson Waller got being the WWE champion. But
Yeah,
that's
not
just
Hey,
me
anytime
though.
soon. It's not happening.
You
anything's possible.
see, I ain't gonna lie to you. I can't wait if Grayson Waller become an independent guy just so I can run promos on him during these interviews and make him mad. Like that's my main thing, just to make him
If
mad
you
as much as he makes me mad on TV. That's the one thing I want
if
to do.
you've got any chance, I feel like if you're gonna get anyone to fire back at you on socials by cutting promos, it's probably gonna be him. So
Oh yeah,
if
yeah.
you do it, it's gonna
Oh, we gonna
happen.
get on
If you
Twitter
do
and
enough of
find
them,
that out. I ain't gonna lie to you. We gonna
You
get
got to
on
post
Twitter and
this
see.
to our Twitter. There you go.
yeah.
It's gonna be who gonna block
Post
who
it and tag
first.
them.
We gonna play a game of who gonna block who first. I promise you, I ain't gonna lose.
yeah, I
I
was gonna
got a
say it's probably
newborn.
not gonna
I
happen.
sit there, feed my newborn, and be talking shit to him.
Yeah, yeah. How old's your newborn?
You, my newborn is 4 days old.
Oh
Yeah.
shit!
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Congrats. That's
Yes,
huge.
sir. Yes,
Is this your
sir.
first one?
Thank you. Thank you. It's my second. My daughter is 2, which is actually funny because me and Chris actually we had our daughters literally a week apart. Like everything was a week apart.
Wow.
When we found
Oh.
out what we was having, baby shower,
Wow.
Right.
pushing.
And the
That's
funny other part is his daughter is born on my mom's birthday.
Hmm.
wow. That's awesome. That's awesome. What about you,
Exactly.
Visionary?
And
You got kids?
Nah,
oh no 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 no.
No.
See,
Nah,
straight out,
he's the
Visionary.
youngest in the bunch right now.
Yeah,
We
he the
kind of
straight
split
out
the
youngest
high
of the
time
group and
school.
together.
everything like that. So
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
he
Fair.
the youngest one. We
trying to
don't need visionary out there like that. See,
not
Yeah,
yet.
visionary,
yeah, yeah. No,
Need
good.
him to
yeah,
understand it.
visionary. He gonna join the club eventually one day and everything like
Yeah,
that. But
yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah.
he good.
There's plenty of time, brother.
Yeah.
yeah.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah, yeah. Now I have a daughter as well. So
Oh, really?
she's
Really?
yeah, yeah. So she's nearly 8 months old. Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
See?
So
that's
she's
dope.
young.
That's
Yeah,
dope.
yeah. That's why you would have seen on like on my info. I
Mm-hmm.
wrestled like heaps in 2023, but last year I didn't wrestle that much. That's why. But
Mm-hmm.
that's
Hey,
why this year
Definitely
you
got
can't
I'm
be mad at
aiming to
that.
to.
get it back up.
Yep, gotta
Yeah.
take care of
Hey,
home first. That's the important part.
Yeah, 100%,
Yep.
100%,
always,
guys.
always.
Yep.
Well,
Are you
we
a horror fan?
appreciate you for your time again, man. And we just want to do one more thing before you go. We end
Yeah,
our
go for it.
shows with one thing for the fans. And
Yep.
pretty much to our fans, we want to thank you for wrestling. And we out. Peace.
Nice, nice.